Wagner, how are you? Says namaste. Namaste. Wagner says good vibes to you. Well, same to you, but in the reality there aren't good vibes or bad vibes, simply vibes. Simply vibrations that are occurring. Wagner says wonderful. All right. There is a Jessie Quinn. Hello Jessie, thanks for joining. Namaste. And I don't know what Jessie's writing, but welcome. It was raining and it was sun was shining at the same time. Just a little drizzle. Antonia Gibbons joins. Hello Antonia, thanks for joining. Namaste. Jessie Quinn says namaste. Namaste Jessie, thanks for joining. Antonia Gibbons says hi. Hi, how are you? Kia Usual says hello Kia, thanks for joining. Namaste. Wagner says nice to see you are outdoors. Yes. Yes, I'm outdoor, that's why I've got my shade here. It was raining, so I got my umbrella. Just a little drizzle, and also blocks the sun from behind. Antonia writes good day to you. Good day to you also, Antonia. Kia usually says give us good words. I'm gonna give you a smile, Kia. Smile and my laughter. Your comments, concern that you type on the comment section will push Moksha Mukti's button for him to speak, to give you good words, or words, any words. In the reality, they're just a sound, and your mind interprets as words. In the reality, just a sound. Wagner writes, how was your weekend? Fantastic. How about yours? Tina Almeida. How are you, Tina? Thanks for joining. Namaste. Tina says, why does one suffer so much pain? Tina, in the human form, everyone suffers. There is no other way. Everyone must suffer in the human form, you see. And Moksha Mukti has already pointed out the suffering is physiological, and in that suffering you can handle it. Hey, by the way, is there any sound? Can you all hear the sound? Is there any issue with the sound, or sometimes there is issue with the sound? So there is no other way, in physiological level, but the pain is exaggerated by the mind or the thought, you see, and that becomes unbearable. However, it is possible for everyone not to suffer on the planet. If you suffer, I suffer. If I suffer, you suffer, because we are all connected. If everyone gives attention to the source, what Moksha Mukti is pointing out. If everyone is not suffering, then you don't suffer. When you suffer, I suffer. You see, because we're all connected. But is it possible for it to happen like that? No, it's not possible to happen like that. But well, it is not going to happen like that. But is there a possibility? Yes, there is a possibility when everyone gives attention to the source. But Moksha Mukti is not going to shout from the roof that, hey everyone, give attention to the source, give attention to the source. He's not going to do that. However, there is a possibility when everyone gives attention to the source, there will be total elimination of suffering, there will be total elimination of war, there will be total peace. And in the reality, you can take care of the suffering and the pain, you see. And little ointment, little pill, little herbs, they can help you minimize suffering in a physiological level, but in psychological level, it is exaggerated and the pain becomes so much unbearable to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking that question. Wagner says, sound perfect. Oh, thank you, Wagner. I may have to switch the position to give more light. See, maybe this position gives the better light. Let's see how this one looks. Well, probably the same. It's maybe a little better. A little light. Yeah. Beautiful day today. There was a light drizzle, and would you know, see, when Moksha Mukti started to give talk, the rain disappears. I don't know what happens. It was drizzling a little bit, and it was a dark cloud above right here, but somehow the rain just disappeared. You see, maybe you see this is like some talks outdoor, and whenever there is talks outdoor, it doesn't rain. And it was drizzling, and now the rain disappeared. You see, even the quantum that makes the rain is yielding Moksha Mukti. It is yielding, and right now you see it's no rain. All the clouds disappeared. Is it a miracle? Perhaps. Who knows? No one knows. No one knows the reality. Just the speculation. Everyone is imagining. Everyone is giving speculation about the reality. Who knows the reality? Hey, I'm just gonna grab a cushion on my back here. Grab a couple of cushion so it feels good on the back. There it is. I just need one right there. There we go. Janine Waters Guthrie. Hey Janine, how are you? Says namaste. Namaste Janine, thanks for joining again. Janine say, where do we go when we die? Oh, that was Jamie. Hey Jamie, nice to see you. How are you? Jamie writes, where do we go when we die? Why do you ask that question, Jamie? Our concern ought to be about living now, you see. Living, not so much of dying. Living, experiencing, fully living now, you see. Why do you care about what happens when you die? You see, the universe simply recycles your body and it will place it somewhere else. Why are you concerned? And in that moment, your memory and your thought will die. That's what happens. But the body gets recycled energy. You see. And why are you concerned? See, your concern ought to be living now, in the present moment, here and now. You see. And who cares what happens after death? The universe will take care of it. You see. And now is the time for you to recognize this. Recognize the existence. Recognize your experiencing, living now, breathing now. You see. That's all you ought to be concerned with. Blake Shreen or Creen. Blake, hey, you're back again. How are you? Namaste. He says hi. Dharma Lyman. Hey Dharma, how are you? Namaste. Writes, what causes depression? Depression is caused by lack of physical activities. If you exercise every day, sweat, your depression will itself clean out. That's the physiological level. In a psychological level, don't believe in your thoughts, do not dwell in the past, stay here in the present moment. But the sweat itself will clean the depression. The more you sweat, it will clean from your body. You see. And in the reality, physiological level, you can handle depression, but it is exaggerated by the mind. See, mind is taking you back in the past or taking you back in the future, never in the present moment. You see, stay in the present moment, sweat a lot, exercise your depression. What depression? So you will not know what is depression. Sharon Lake. Hey Sharon, how are you? Namaste. Sharon writes, I finally have some free time to tune in. Namaste. Namaste. Glad you're here. Janine writes, been working on my living in the moment, getting better at it. You see, it simply requires your attention, no more, no less. It requires your attention. That's it. And the one that is saying, I need to practice, I need to get better at it, is the thought. See, going through the thought, it is taking you in a circle. See, it's always about tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow I'll get better. Tomorrow I will get it. Tomorrow I will have it. You see, it's always about the tomorrow because that is stemming from the thought. You're giving attention to the thought. What Moksha Mukti is pointing you to give attention to the source that is available to you now. You see. I'm going to move this a little bit here. Alexandra Walsh James. Hey Alexandria, you're back again. You're in the both place. The light workers and namaste, both groups. Thanks for joining. Namaste. And it says hello again, friend. Namaste. Yeah, namaste. Hey, by the way, those of you who share this live feeds, to different groups or on your page or somewhere, you have an opportunity to get a drawing, so you can have a one-on-one session with Moksha Mukti. You see, there are the two ways you can do one-on-one session. Moksha Mukti, you can go to Moksha Mukti's web page, and in there you can request to have a one-on-one session, and you can do it like that. And the second way to get it is like share this live feed so that your name will be drawing out of whoever shares this, and from there your name will be chosen to have a win. You can win one-on-one session with Moksha Mukti. So that's what. Just a little info on the side. Sharon writes, my health seemed to be poor for the past 2.5 years. Doctors aren't able to figure out all my symptoms and I feel lost at times. Don't believe in your thoughts, Sharon. Let the body take care of itself. Let the body take care of itself. Don't believe in your thoughts. Stay in the present moment. Give attention to the source, and there is a possibility for you to heal by itself. You see, I'm not saying don't go to doctor. You see, go to doctor, get recommendation, get checkup, do all that, but give attention to the source. It may take time, or it may create miracle for you to heal right away, or you may heal in a shorter ways, like maybe you may heal in few days. You see, but whatever the body is going through that process, you see, disease is actually, it's a process to take care of the body. It's a healing process, and while the body is healing it, it appears as a symptom of a disease. You see, but in the reality, body is trying to take care of it, producing all the symptom. And let the body take care of it. Body is intelligent. Don't believe in a thought. Thought is telling you otherwise, and give your attention to the source, and it creates possibility for you to create miracle. Blake writes, what do you do to give more attention to the source than to the thought? It is so simple, Blake. The one that is saying more attention is the thought is saying that. You see, giving attention to the thought. Give attention to the thought. The source is watching your thought. Source is watching your thought. Source is watching everything. Your thoughts, your feelings, emotions, intuition, heart, mind, body, and everything. It is observing everything. Give attention to that. You see, and it is no better, no less. It's a thought saying better or less. It's not you saying that. You see. Antonia says, I'm here, my phone died. Okay, that happens. Even Moksha Mukti is operating on the phone battery right now, and when the battery dies, this session is going to end. And it may be 1.5 hour session today, or 1 hour, so who knows. This is spontaneously happening. Alexandria says, how are you today? I'm well. How are you, Alexandria? Sharon writes, thank you. Namaste. You're welcome, Sharon. Namaste. Leticia Williams says, I am here. Hi, Leticia. Thanks for joining. Namaste. See, right now it's a beautiful day. I got my shade on. And it was about to rain. But somehow it was a dark cloud right there and it just disappeared, you see. And this was happened. Moksha Mukti has given many gatherings outside, and not a single time. This is like maybe a 24th, 23rd, 24th gathering, and not a single time it rained. It was drizzling before he started to give this talk, and I got the umbrella on, and now there is no rain. It's a clear blue sky. You can see the blue sky there, and right there where you can see the blue sky, it was a dark cloud there just a few minutes ago. Alexandria writes, I am good. It's beautiful today in Philadelphia. Hey, Philadelphia. Namaste, Philadelphia. It's beautiful here in Dallas. Now, it was about to rain, but no rain. You see, something happened. When Moksha Mukti gives talks, the rain heals him. Are there any books out there for me to understand more about the source? No, there are no books. Moksha Mukti does not recommend any books. However, Moksha Mukti has two books out there. One is called Ever Perpetuating Present Moment, and the other is called Waves Metamorphosing into Revelation. Both of them are available in Amazon under the name Robin Pandey. You see, Before Moksha Mukti became Moksha Mukti, his name was Robin Pandey. In 2009, Robin Pandey became Moksha Mukti. You see, and but some of the books are still under Robin Pandey, or you can type Moksha Mukti. In Amazon.com, there are 2 books, but it's necessarily to source. But everything that book says is pointing you to the source. But in the reality, you don't need that. It simply needs your attention. You see, it simply needs your attention, and you are longing for that attention, to give attention to the source, so that you can be home. Everything that you're searching for is in there in the source. You see, and you're longing for that, you're looking for that, you're searching for that, and it is available to you now in the present moment. You see, that's what Moksha Mukti is pointing out. Lisa M. Lisa Lisa says hi from UK. Hello UK. Namaste UK. Namaste Lisa. How are you today? We have multiple people from multiple states, multiple countries, multiple nations. And in the reality, we're all one. We're all universal citizen. Alexandria Walt James says yes. I need to get the other pillow just a second here. When I read, you need to get closer to the camera so I can read your comments. Yes, we are supposed to get hit with a Hurricane Herman, but it never came. Good. But it is what it is. You see, it's just simply happening. See, this live talks right now is simply happening. The rain was simply happening, drizzle, and there is no more rain because, hey, whether you call this coincidence or the reality or whatever you want to call it, whenever Moksha Mukti gives talks, this is like 23rd or 24th talk. I think it's probably 24th talks. Not a single time there was a rain while Moksha Mukti is giving live talks outside. You see. But simply this is happening. Sun is happening. You can see the clear blue sky right now. See, sky is clear. There's some some cloudy, just a little partly cloudy. See, everything is happening, simply happening. Lisa says hi. Hi Lisa. Sharon says okay, awesome, thank you. You're welcome, Sharon. Janine says thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. You're welcome, Janine. Thanks for being here. Blake says, why did you change your name? See, this happens. This was given to us in dream, Moksha Mukti's dream. You see. And in so-called spiritual community, it happens. I don't know it happens, but it happens. You see, it happened to Moksha Mukti too. When people so-called awakening happens to them, so-called shift occurs to them, then the name change happens, because in the reality, you see, your name, you do not have a name in the reality. You see, all the name is given to you by the society, your parents, you see, and that has a attachment to it. But Moksha Mukti, there is no attachment. That name doesn't have any attachment. And this happens in the so-called spiritual awakening or whatever is this, see, who knows. And it happens to many people also. Lisa say hi, I'm from UK. I think I did not already acknowledge that, Lisa. I said namaste UK. Hi from Whitehall, Ohio. Hey, I know how Whitehall, Ohio. I used to live in Black Lake, Ohio. Leticia Williams. Whitehall, yes, I am pretty familiar with Whitehall. Been there many times. Namaste, Leticia. Lisa says, I am great, thank you. Kiss, kiss. Always stay in this moment. The present moment is where miracles happen. Well, that may be true, but you see, that's your thought is telling that. Thought is telling you, your thought is imagining you to be in the present moment, because I know that his thought is saying that. You see, The being in the present moment is simply is. It just happens. Hi again, Lisa says. Hello, Lisa. Blake says thank you. You're welcome, Blake. Leticia says namaste to you also, my friend. Yeah, namaste. Ruthie Savage. Hi, Ruthie. How are you? You're back again. In this forum, Namaste forum. Says hello, namaste. Namaste. Says how are you today? Visiting Colorado. Awesome. I think I saw your pictures. I don't know, it was you or someone else at the Gardens of God or somewhere in Colorado. I saw your picture and I even clicked like. Because Colorado is beautiful country, beautiful place. Heather Regis. Hello, Heather. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Says I am new here. Well, welcome, Heather. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Lisa says, can you ever lose the spirit connectivity? You have a break from spirit. Well, I don't know what you mean, Lisa. You are connected to what Moksha Mukti is pointing out, the source. The spirit is your breath. As long as you're breathing, you are spiritual. That is spirit. See, breath is a spirit. It's a Latin word. It's called a spirit. Means breath, and the spiritual spirit all came from the breath. So as long as you're breathing, you are spiritual, you see, and you are already connected. Only difference between what is happening there is that the recognition is not there, and to recognize it simply requires your attention, you see. To experience simply requires your attention. Heather Regis says thank you. Welcome, Heather. Antonia says, do you have any advice on how to focus your mind? Antonia, this is not an advice. Moksha Mukti is not giving you advice. Moksha Mukti is not teaching you anything. Moksha Mukti is not giving you a lecture. Moksha Mukti is not telling you anything. It's simply pointing you to something that is available. It simply requires your attention. It may be focused, but he chooses the word attention. It requires your attention. It requires your effort, you see. And that there is no advice. You have to give effort to give attention, because thought is demanding your attention. Thought is using your attention. Thought is using your energy, because thought is powerful. And simply, instead of giving to the thought, don't believe in the thought for a few seconds to whatever long you can, and then it allows you to give attention to the source, you see. Other than that, there is, yourself than Moksha Mukti, and it simply requires your effort, you see. Heather says thank you. Okay, focus on mind. Ruthie says thank you. Was there today for the first time? Ruthie, what do you mean was there today? Oh, you were there today for the first time in the Gardens of God. Okay, that's what you're telling me. Okay. Did you enjoy? Ignacio Soto. Hey Ignacio, you're back again. Namaste. Says hello, I see you are enjoying this beautiful weather. Yes. Namaste. And Heather says, I enjoy the advice. This is not advice, simply pointers, Heather. Simply pointers. Lisa said, thank you. Answer my question. You're welcome, Lisa. Ruthie says, I saddle on a mountain in the garden of gods today, and I thought my spirit. Namaste. Certainly there is a connection between you and the nature. You see, connection between you and the nature, and that is pointing you to the source. It points you to the source. You see, Antonia writes, oh, okay, thank you, that makes sense. Ignacio writes, can you recommend me good books to read that has helped you? Ignacio, what happened here is not something Moksha Mukti read. It's not something Moksha Mukti heard. It simply happened on its own naturally. It simply happened. And after that happening, what happened? Moksha Mukti wrote 2 books, and they are available on Amazon. And I will share you the link here after this video is done, after this live feed is done. I will share you the links to get the video. But Moksha Mukti is not recommending you to read the video to get the experience from the source. But if you want to read it, those 2 books are available on Amazon. Sharon writes, can you list the books again in the comment? Yes, Sharon, I will put a link there for you and Ignacio, so you can go and check it out. And says thanks in advance. You're welcome. Ruthie says, sorry, I sat on a mountain and I felt my spirit. Well, good, you had that experiencing in the mountain place, but in the reality, what Moksha Mukti is pointing out, you see, the spirit is breath, so you are experiencing your breath. You see, unless you meant to say connection or to the source. And in order to connect to the source, you don't really need to go to the mountain. However, you see, sometimes the so-called nature, you see, points you to the source. There is some sort of vibration that points you to the source, and that vibration, you see, calms your thought. It's possible that vibration, nature's vibration, calms your thought for you to see the pointer, but in the reality you don't need that. You can get that now in this present moment. You can get the connected now in the present moment. However, it's a different experience. It gives you different experience, gives you different experience. Lisa say, what country are you in? Lisa, Moksha Mukti is in Dallas, Texas, USA. Ignacio says, thank you. Thanks, you're welcome, Ignacio. Blake says, when did you have your spiritual awakening? Well, you see, there are multiple times that happen. I think the so-called real awakening that went into Moksha Mukti's each cell in the body happened in 2009. See, total atomic transformation. And Moksha Mukti does not like to talk about this, you see, in this type of gathering. So what I'll do, Blake, is that I'll share a link for you to go watch this interview, and there are more detail, there is more information that is available. So Lisa, right? I find I sit in the power, quieten my thoughts, I connect to my inner spirit. Is then I feel my vibration in my body. The energy throughout my whole organs is so awesome. Well, perhaps, perhaps not. But it seems like there is some imagination going on, Lisa, in your experiencing. That the thought actually, uh, yes, it's possible that thought is minimized, uh, or there is no attachment to the thought, because thought is cannot be quieted. You see, thought happens. Thought is always happening. You see, you cannot stop the thought. You cannot quieten the thought. Thought is happening. Maybe that in this experiencing, that you are giving effort to give attention to the source. In there, your thought, your attachment to the thought is loosening, or see, you are not attached to the thought, or the attachment is weakening. You see, now when you give attention to the thought, the attachment to the thought strengthens. But when you give attention to the source, your attachment to the thought weakens. Maybe that's what you're experiencing. And anyway, maybe seems like you're heading to the right direction. So which is good. That's what Moksha Mukti is pointing. And it simply is experiencing. What happens is it's simply experience that is happening. You see. Ruthie writes, thank you, so true, it was a connection. Alright. Well, you can experience that now. That's what Moksha Mukti is pointing. Rebecca just, hey Rebecca, you're back. Says, hello, tell me about what I am feeling. Rebecca, I don't know what you're feeling. You tell me what you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling good, maybe you're feeling bad. Those are interpretation by your thought. Thought is interpreting that, and I don't know what your thought is interpreting. It could interpret as a good, it could interpret as a bad. Those good and bad is the interpretation of the mind or the thought. You see, in the reality is neither good, neither bad. Simply is happening. And Olga is here. Hi Olga. Says, right, hi, now how are you? Namaste, good to see you again. Lisa writes, you have such a nice face. I am a spiritual person. I lost my twin 6 years ago. I feel the presence. I agree, if you give no attention to the thought, I let it flow without attention. Yeah, that's what Moksha Mukti is pointing out. Don't believe in your thoughts while you're here, even for a few seconds. You see, he's not asking you to do that all the time, and you can't do that all the time. You have to function in the society. You have to use the thought, because that is your tool given to you to function in the society. But here, what Moksha Mukti is pointing, even for a few seconds to a few minutes, don't believe in your thought. You see. And thought is telling that. And whatever is happening, simply happening. You see, fortuitous concourse of atoms. You see, simply happening. Simply dance of quantum. Quantum is dancing. Energy is dancing. And energy taking you here and there. You see, energy is taken from your body. When the universe needs it, then atoms or the energy is taken from this body and placed somewhere else. That's what happened to your twins. You see, it's somewhere else. The energy universe will recycle for it to sustain itself. Otherwise, universe will collapse if there's no balance. To balance itself, it's moving the energy. It's dancing. It's a simply dance that is happening, keeping balancing. You see, simply happening. And in the process, you see, a body gets recycled and placed somewhere else. You see, this is all cycle that is happening. Lisa says, go with the flow of life. It is as it is. Yes, this simply is happening. Sorry, not making sense, but thank you for understanding what I am trying to say. I understand what you're trying to say, Lisa. You see, it is simply what is happening, and that's what Moksha Mukti is pointing. You see, pointing you to the source. Rebecca says, so what are you supposed to believe in? Your society have imposed all beliefs in your head all your life. Why do you need any more beliefs? All the beliefs that you have out there is already, sufficient for you to function in the society. So you need beliefs to function in the society. In the reality, who needs belief? You don't need beliefs, any beliefs, see. And simply what Moksha Mukti is pointing here is simply give your attention to the source, and source is watching everything. It is watching your beliefs, it is watching your thoughts, it's watching your experiencing, it is watching your intuition, it's watching your feelings, emotions, mind, body, heart, anything and everything, anything outward. It's watching everything. Simply give attention to that and observe everything. You see, and you don't really need to believe anything while you're here, especially to the thought. Don't believe in the thought, because 90%, 95, even maybe higher, maybe 99% of your thoughts are false. Don't believe in them while you're here, even for a few seconds to a few minutes. That's what Moksha Mukti is pointing out. Rebecca writes, so what are you supposed to... Okay, so you already answered that question. Lisa says, your word is so beautiful. Do you believe in reincarnation? I don't like to... Moksha Mukti doesn't like to imagine anything. He doesn't like to assume anything. You see, who knows there is a reincarnation? Who knows that? No one knows that. However, there is a possibility when the energy is recycling, that you are in different form. Now that energy recycle, and now you're in a human form. See, there's a possibility. Lisa says, believe in yourself. Okay, yeah, you can believe in yourself, but who is that you call yourself? You're nothing but your thought. You see, now you're believing in your thought. Now you're going back to the same place where you started. It's giving you all this false information or false notion. You see, right, Heather? Who is that you called yourself? Isn't that your thought? Who is that? Investigate, validate. Lisa says, we are all one. Yes, it's true. We are all one in the source. Source is one. There's a one source. And all this body mind appearing as a separate is perceived by the mind. Is a perception by the mind through this mental equipment that is granted to us or cursed to us in the course of the so-called evolution, that through the mutation or some changes that occurred that allowed humans to have this mental capacity or the instrument that sees the separateness. And through this separateness, we are not seen as one, but we are one in the reality. Lisa says, thank you. You're welcome, Lisa. Lisa says, believe in your inner spirit. No, Lisa, that's not what Moksha Mukti is pointing out. What do you mean by inner spirit? Don't assume. You're assuming. Heather says, do not be scared to take action to make you happy. Well, maybe not. Who knows, Heather? Rebecca says, when you die, do you leave this earth and transgress to something or someone else? Where do you go? Who knows that? No one knows that, Rebecca. It's simply the universe takes the energy and places it somewhere else. Where does universe places that energy? Who knows? Wherever it needs it, it simply places it there. Is it possible it can place into this universe, or it's possible that it will take it and place it into different universe? There are infinity amount of universe. So you see, who knows where he places? Or perhaps the infinity universe that is there, your body never dies, there is only continuation. You see, your body is always continuing in infinity amount of universe. It never dies. You see, when the body dies here, there is a consciousness, and that body appears in that consciousness in different universe. Who knows? You see. Lisa says your soul. Well, that's also assumption. Who knows the soul? Who knows there is a soul? Can you show me your soul? No, you can't. Just the assumption. You see. Perhaps, perhaps not. You see, why do you need to call it soul? Simply give attention to that. Experience that. Why do you need to call it that? Experience it, recognize it, see it. You see. Rebecca says, so you just forget everything that you have been through. No, I'm not. Moksha Mukti is not saying forgetting. Not forgetting. You're not gonna forget everything that you've been through, because that is in your memory. You see. Moksha Mukti is saying forget that while you're here in this gathering. That's what he's pointing out. Or whenever you can, forget that. Because in the reality, you cannot forget that. It is there. In the memory, it's gonna come back. There is no way you can forget it. Rebecca says, why is that? Why sometimes you feel that you have been there before and you feel like you have repeated the circumstances? Yes, everything is repeating, Rebecca. Thought is repeating everything. Your whole life is repetition. It goes in a cycle. And Moksha Mukti is pointing you to observe that within your functionality. Lisa says, great weather in Dallas. Yes, at the moment it is a great weather. Just a few minutes ago it was about to rain, and Moksha Mukti put the umbrella here. See if you can see the umbrella. See the umbrella? This umbrella was there because it was about to rain. It drizzled a little bit. See a few drops. But as Moksha Mukti pointed out, whenever Moksha Mukti gives talks outward, it doesn't rain. You see. So you may call this miracle or a coincidence. This has happened to him 24 times in his gatherings. Rebecca says, are we supposed to repeat things in life in order to correct them? You see, everything is happening, simply repetition that is happening. You see, thought is repeating everything. This is man-made reality. in man-made reality, everything repeats. You see, that's why even history repeats. And everything happens to you. Ultimately, everything is pointing you to recognize the source. You see, some may call it center, whatever, but that is the source. You see, everything happens in life, it is pointing you to recognize the source, pointing you to experience the source, pointing you to see the source. See, that is what is happening. All the disease, financial loss, family loss, relationship loss, calamities, anything and everything pointing you to give your attention to the source. Lisa said red, great color. Thank you. Shelly Durga. Hello Shelly, you're back again. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Sun is finally setting here. Oh, sorry, there was no sound. Namaste. Red colors is great, yeah. Thank you. How is the weather here? This weather is great, as you can see. Shelly. Rebecca says, I'm confused about why would a world be created for so much suffering. Who knows the purpose of that? The world is not suffering. You are suffering. The world, there is no problem in the world. There is no problem in the reality. It is simply happening. Everything is simply happening. There is no problem. The problem is created by the mind, is what Moksha Mukti is pointing out. You see. Are you suffering? If you are suffering, that is natural, because in the human forms everyone suffers, and Moksha Mukti has already pointed out just a while ago, everyone suffers in the reality, you see, in the physiological level, but the suffering is exaggerated by the mind. That's what Moksha Mukti is pointing out. That's what he's saying. Don't believe in your thoughts, you see. Okay, now you can hear me, right? Alexandru Adrian Popa. Hello, Alexandru. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Says namaste. Namaste. I'm sitting in this position. It's good for the back. Alexandru writes, Thank to you. You're welcome. Trying to position this camera. Alexandru says, have a great day. You too, Alexandru. Rebecca writes, so tell me all about what you know. Moksha Mukti is not here to tell you anything, Rebecca. He's not here to give you advice. He's not here to give you talks. He's not here to give you lecture. Although this is talks, but he's not here to give you speech, lecture, advice, or he's not here to tell you anything, or give you knowledge, or give you information. He's simply pointing you to something that you already have available within you, and he's pointing you to that. You see? And Moksha Mukti is speaking for two reasons. One, something occurs in his consciousness, like a spontaneously. You see? Not like Moksha Mukti read something, heard something that he's going to come out and speak like that. Majority of humans doing that. They heard something, they read something, and they come out and do something. That's not what Moksha Mukti does. For Moksha Mukti, it happens spontaneously. So this is fresh. If nothing appears in his consciousness spontaneously, he doesn't speak. Because what is happening here is fresh. By coming here, you will be able to experience that fresh. And that's what Moksha Mukti pointing you to experience that. Lisa writes, just made cup of English tea. Yeah, that's nice to drink tea. Cheers. Moksha Mukti also drinks tea. And mouth is kind of dry right now, but you see this talk is happening. Maybe I'll get up in a minute and go grab it from inside. Ready-made tea, green tea, or some water, but so far so good, you know. Enjoy your tea. With B-I-C-C-Y, with a Bishi, what is that? With Bishi. Don't know what that is, Lisa. She said cheers, okay. That must be an English word. See, we're American. So some words, you know, we don't recognize, but it's okay. Seems like, oh, Bicky, biscuit. Vicky. Yeah, that's funny. So I'm gonna see if I can move the camera angle so it's trying to give you a little bit better picture for you. This way or this way? I think this way is better. Right here. Rebecca just writes, what causes a person to be jealous? Very good question, Rebecca. Drop, phone dropped, camera dropped. That's a really good question. You see, jealousy is caused by the mind in the reality. You see, in the reality, jealousy is there in the body. Jealousy happens in the body level, physiological level. It is a way to express your limitations in physiological level. You see, like so and so have it and you don't have it. So and so's likes you see, so and so has a girlfriend or boyfriend, you don't have it. You see, those are jealousy. It stems from the limitation, to express the limitation. So and so have a house, you don't have a house. So and so have a boat, you don't have a boat. So and so have a car, you don't have a car. So and so have a job, you don't have a job. So those are all created to express the limitation. But it is exaggerated by the mind. When it goes to the mind, then the mind exaggerates and becomes, that jealousy becomes more jealous. You experience that as a more jealous, and that is actually causing you the problem. But in the reality, jealousy is just simply an energy to express your limitations, you see. And actually thought is causing you the problem, because thought wants to get rid of that jealousy from the body because you don't like that experience. Mind doesn't like that experiencing, because the experiencing produced by jealousy, mind doesn't like it. I think the mosquito bit me here, so may have to go inside. So mind doesn't like that, because mind likes everything that is sensual, so it doesn't like the experience of jealousy, and it wants to get rid of it from your body, but you cannot, and that causes you the problem, and that causes you to be more jealous than what you actually are, you see. And that is the problem. That is the problem for you, because the mind is interfering. Good questions. Good question, Rebecca. Alexandria says, black Assam latte is the best tea for me. Okay, good. I'm trying to place the camera. Okay, I think this is right here is good. Let's see if I can move it up. Yeah, I mean, whatever is your cup of tea is your cup of tea. Moksha Mukti, there is no particular taste here. There is no taste for Moksha Mukti. So-called taste actually is not attached to the taste. Moksha Mukti drinks whatever is available to him. I'm just gonna place the camera here for a second, okay? And put this here. Okay, for a few seconds you're just gonna see the umbrella on the microphone. I am gonna attach this here. So whatever your cup of tea is your cup of tea, you see. For Moksha Mukti there is no taste here, but he's probably gonna drink green tea. He's gonna probably do the green tea. Maybe slightly down. No, I guess that's already attached. Rebecca writes, where are you from? Rebecca, Moksha Mukti is in Dallas, Texas, USA. How about you? Lisa says, maybe is the ego in people that causes jealousy. Perhaps, but it's mostly thought. Ego is the product of the thought, product of the mind, you see. And jealousy is in the physiological level to express the limitations. It happens. You see, you cannot get rid of jealousy. If you get rid of jealousy from your body, that would be the end of you. You cannot get rid of that. You cannot get rid of anger. You cannot get rid of anxiety. You cannot get rid of hatred. All of them are there. See, it's serving you purpose. But the thought, in the thought level, when that goes to your thought level, when you start analyzing, thinking about it, then that exaggerates it. And that makes it difficult for you. And that says, oh, I am jealous. You see, now I am going to do something. Causes you unnecessary action. You see. Lisa says, do you believe in positive thinking? No, Lisa, Moksha Mukti does not believe in positive or negative thinking. Simply is thinking that is happening. Thinking is energy. It is an electromagnetic field. It arises after you eat food. It is simply your functionality or tool given to you to function in the society. You see, and that tool, you see, actually says one thought is negative or one thought is positive, and that is based on your condition imposed upon you by your society. So based on that, you will say one thought is positive, one thought is negative, but in the reality, simply there is only thinking. There is no positive thinking, negative thinking. Simply there is energy, but the mind interprets as positive thinking, negative thinking. Lisa says, so you observe your thoughts without putting no attachment to them. Do not assume anything, Lisa. And all your thoughts, all your questions are stem from the thought, but it's okay to ask questions. Otherwise, we can have this conversation. But whatever happens in this functionality here in Moksha Mukti, and he's describing how he's functioning. He's not doing anything. He's simply describing how he's functioning. And how he's functioning is that he simply automatically, naturally gives attention to the source. And in there, the thought becomes just the observation. And it appears and disappears just like the cloud in the sky. You see, appear and disappear. And that is simply happening to the thought. And somehow, you see, this happened to him naturally through by the grace of God or through serendipity. Whatever the reason, it simply happened to Moksha Mukti. He's begin to function naturally. He's begin to function in natural state of being, and in this natural state of being, the attachment to thought is no longer here. You see, that's what happened to him naturally. And he's simply pointing you to that. That is already available to you. However, you are busy giving attention to the thought, because thought is powerful. It's a powerful illusion, you see, that is imposed upon you by the society. And it is not your thought. It is comprehensive collective thought that has been collected for millions of years. That's why the thought is so powerful, you see. And that's why thought demands your attention. And you are giving total attention to the thought, thinking, analyzing, all that is happening, you see. But here, what Moksha Mukti, it happened, you see, simply happened, you see. And in a way, it's a burden. In a way, it's a painful situation, you see. And it's not really pain to Moksha Mukti, but it's a painful situation to be. Now, you see, Moksha Mukti has to express. He's expressing all this expression, you see. Now you have to sit here and give these talks, and these talks, this simply happening, you see. In a way, it's a burden, you see. But there is no problem. Simply this is happening. This is simply expression of existence, expressing. Rebecca said, I am in Washington State, near Seattle. Terry Behrman. Hey Terry, you're back again. Thanks for joining. Namaste. I say, how do you find the source? You don't need to find the source. Source is already available to you. You just need to recognize that. You just need to experience that, and you just need to see that. And it wants you to recognize that. It wants you to see that. It wants you to experience that. And everything that you do in your life is pointing to that. All the things that you do, well, I'm not supposed to do that. All the things they say, that's wrong. All the things, well, I'm suffering, this and that and the other. Everything is pointing you to recognizing the source. And the source is already available to you within, and it simply requires your attention. And I can see mosquitoes, so in a minute I need to go back in a few minutes. Yes, Lisa, right? The source is within us. Yes, the source is already within you now in this present moment. Not in the past, not in the future, but now. You are connected to the source. You are the source in the reality. But the separateness is perceived by the mind. Mind is saying, this is mind bodies. I am my mind. I am my mind and body. You see, that's what the thought is saying. You are connected to the source now in the present moment. You are not separate. Separateness is perceived by the mind because of the mental equipment. And can you deny the separateness? No, you cannot deny the separateness because you see the separateness. through this mental equipment. Diane Arias. Hey Diane, you're back again. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Diane writes, is it that we think of ourselves as separate and apart from one another, and not all just different frequency of source, experiencing like as humans? No, Diane, you don't think like that yourself separate, because you see yourself like a separate. With the mental equipment that we are granted or cursed, that allows us to see the separateness. And when you see the separateness, and it is what it is, you see, and you are seeing the separateness, and you cannot deny that. But in the reality, it's not separate, but only perceived as a separateness. And when you perceive as a separateness, thought naturally thinks that is separate. You see. And the frequency or the whatever the vibration you're speaking about is a vibration of the universe. It's one. It's never separate. Just like the wave in the ocean. Can wave say I am separate, not the ocean? No, wave cannot say that. Wave is the ocean. Similarly, the human body, the vibration is the universe. You see. And yes, you are here to experience as a human being, and you are experiencing the human being and a human form. You will suffer. And all the suffering is pointing you to experience the source, recognize the source, see the source. You see. Lisa writes, you have a kind of face. You have a kind face. Thank you for sharing with us. Good night from UK. Love to all. Thanks for joining, Lisa. Thanks for joining from all the way from UK. And we are all one here. We are all universal citizen. And good night to you, and love and blessings. Namaste. Now I'm leaning back, kind of resting my back here, you see. Lisa said, Nana, see you again. Good night, Lisa. Have a sweet dreams. Resting the back, you see. Back needs a good place to rest. Back is the weakest place, so you can strain your back. Maybe it's time to stand up. You gotta stand up. I've been sitting down too long, causing the back pain to have a little pain, so need to stand up. Now I'm standing up. Standing up and moving around. little walking. A little walking is good for your back. Dogs barking. Anyway, I see a low battery sign, so thanks all for joining. Thanks all for participating. And have a blessed day. And see you all next time. Namaste.